Today we're going to continue in our series on the Book of Malachi. Is there a thief in the house? Is what I've entitled this, because remember, our title for the series is Malachi, God's Answer Man. So Malachi, throughout his prophecy, answers a lot of different questions for the people. And today, is there a thief in the house? And we're going to be looking at Malachi chapter 3, verses 7 through 15. And it's verses 7 through 12. This is what Malachi says, speaking for God. Ever since the time of your forefathers, you have turned away from my decrees and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you, says the Lord Almighty. But you ask, how are we to return? Will a man rob God? Yet you rob me, God says. But you ask, how do we rob you? And God responds in tithes and offerings. You are under a curse, the whole nation of you, because you are robbing me. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have enough room for it. I will prevent pests from devouring your crops, and the vines in your fields will not cast their fruit, says the Lord Almighty. Then all the nations will call you blessed, for yours will be a delightful land, says the Lord God Almighty. The golden nugget of this passage is amazing. It's an amazing plea and promise of God for his people of all ages. Return to me, and I will return to you. That's the nugget. He's saying, you've strayed. Come back to me, and I will re-engage you in fullness. It's not like God saying, if you come back to me, I'm going to come back to you because I've wandered away from you too. We have to remember the picture that Jesus gives us of the prodigal son. The father never left. The son left. And as soon as the son turned, the father embraced him. The father was always there. And that's the way God is. He is faithful to his covenant. He's always there. But when we have our back turned to him because of our sin, he can't give us the blessings he wants to give us because our hands aren't there to receive them. You know, that's the picture. That's the picture he's talking about. He says, when you're doing your own thing, your back is turned to me, and there are no hands there to receive the blessings that I have for you. So the golden nugget here, the one thing to take home from all of this, is God promises that when his people return to him, when they turn away from their sin, whether great or small, he's there ready and willing to heap blessings upon them. And then your hands will be in a place where you can receive the blessings. But the people responded in a very classic way. And I'm going to take a little line and just change it a little bit from an old TV classic. What you talking about, God? What you talking about return to you? What do you mean we got to turn back to you? Haven't we been doing all these things? Or, chill, God. It's all cool, right? You know, just calm down, God. Don't be upset. It's all cool. We're okay. Get along, right? You got to go along to get along. Come on. Just give us some slack. Rob you? What do you mean? Prove it. That's what they're telling God. So God has to talk to him about a few things. And he lays it out. And he says, even the first thing that you've robbed me of are the things that are due me. He says, to return to me, you need to give back to me that which you haven't been. And so we first must offer him three things. The first thing that we need to offer him, he kind of indicates that we need to offer him our servants. We need to evaluate our level of faithfulness. And we need to offer him our faithfulness back so that we're not following the sins of our fathers who decided to go their own way and decided to write their own rules and decided that They didn't have to give God exactly what he asked for. They could just give him substitutes. And God's saying, when you do that, you're robbing me. You want to stop the generational tendencies of abandoning the decrees of God. Think about the history of the church. You know, people want to say that we can interpret Scripture based on the societal norms, and it's a living document. Those same people say the Constitution's a living document too. Scripture's a living document. You know, we interpret it based on the lens of the society and the culture that we're coming from. Well, some places in Scripture you do that. But the principles of God are clear. The principles of God say, no, this is steadfast. But throughout the history of the church, we've tried to be like a famous lawyer. What does his mean? What is his? You know? And we try and twist the words so that it confuses people, because once they're confused, you got them. You know? It's fake news. What's fake news? What part of it's fake? You know? Because fake news is news that you've got some air in there to try and present your opinion rather than the facts. So, when somebody's saying it's fake news, yeah, it really is, because those opinions aren't news. Those opinions aren't fact. News is fact. And so, throughout the history of the church, the people of the church have tried to play with the words so that they can confuse people and have things the way that they want it to be. Right? One of the grossest examples of it is heard all across the land in marital counseling when one or the other is having an affair. Well, if it feels so good, it must be because God understood what I needed. But okay, where's your twisted logic in that? You know? God would have never brought us together if he didn't intend for us to do this. Yeah, right? Whose twisted logic is that? But in some circles, that's acceptable logic. Because it's human logic, it's not spiritual logic. We must not allow ourselves to grow weary in following him, even when things get rough. And we still need to give him our service. We can't take ourselves out from the yoke, because we realize that when we're in the yoke with Jesus, the burden is light. When we pull ourselves out, the burden gets a lot more intolerable. As hard as it is when we're yoked with Jesus, not being yoked with Jesus makes it that more difficult. We need to stay in service with the King. We must not allow the perception of a lack of fruit discourage us to the point that we give up. Because we're all going to go through seasons, and some of us will go through a whole life where it seems like, what did I really do for the kingdom? What did I really do for the kingdom? Yeah, a couple of people got saved because they talked to me and I witnessed to them, but what did I really do? I just lived my life. I really didn't do anything. Do you realize that some of the greatest things that have been done in the church is because people just lived their lives? Think of the Sunday school teachers of Billy Graham and Billy Sunday. They were just living their lives. We don't know how enthusiastic they were Sunday after Sunday after Sunday teaching kids. Because teaching kids can be a drain, and teaching kids can be a challenge. But they were able to get through. And those are just two examples of two men because somebody was just living their life. God was able to use them in mighty ways to bring thousands of people into the kingdom of God. But we look at it and we say, by the world standards, where's the success? Just living our lives. Just living our lives. Sometimes the greatest success that we have as Christians following Jesus is to pour Jesus into the lives of our children. And we see them loving the Lord and serving the Lord. Now, in most cases, it's not the minute that they graduate from high school. They kind of have to grow into that. They have to learn what it is to believe in Jesus on their own and not believe in Jesus because mommy and daddy said so. You know? But they become faithful. They come back, they return. And their faithfulness then is credited to the account of the faithful parents. You know? God says, you did what I asked you to do. It seemed like a burden. It seemed like you weren't getting anywhere. He said, don't let the dry times, or the seeming dry times, the times that you think you perceive it to be dry, keep you from giving up. And don't get so discouraged with swimming upstream all the time and never seeming to get anywhere so that you give up and just float. Because when you give up and float, you know what that means, right? It means you're dead. You're no good to anybody if you just give it up and float. So Malachi is saying, God wants us to return to serving him enthusiastically. Then he indicates that part of returning to God requires that we offer back to him the offerings and tithes to be prescribed. Oh, okay, we're going to talk about money again. One of the unique things of preaching through the Bible is you hit on everything that God wants is important to God. But I know pastors who look at the bottom line so often that they preach on tithing more than they preach on anything else. And it's like, come on, you can't beat a dead horse. The Holy Spirit's got to be the one to work in their lives, and you telling them they got to give isn't going to do it. But God says that I asked you to give, and I gave you a whole giving plan, and you guys just kind of snubbed your noses at it. Malachi is probably talking when he mentions offerings, the tithes and the offerings, he's probably talking about the offering that was called the heave offering. The heave offering was the offering that was given for the upkeep of the temple. It was that heave offering that kept the temple running. And so when they didn't give the offering, then the upkeep of the temple wasn't. So they had to start taking out of the Levites portion in order to make sure that the temple could still function. And so the priests in the temple ended up robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Because, we're not getting enough income to keep going and do the temple things that we're supposed to do. So we got to take money from the Levites. We got to take some of the offerings from the Levites in order to make sure that we can do it. And so it all trickles down. Trickle down debt, not trickle down economics. We know all about that trickle down debt, don't we? And so he says that needs to be restored. Now let's talk about Old Testament tithe. You've probably heard it said, but the Old Testament giving requirements, if you didn't give according to the Old Testament giving requirements, you weren't considered a good Jew. The Old Testament giving requirements between the offerings and tithes amounted to about 33%. We've kind of adjusted that for inflation and said we only got 10%. But the reality is, Paul tells us the truth about giving. God doesn't care. He doesn't care whether you give 1% or whether you give 50%. If you can't give it joyously, don't give it. But if you don't give anything, you're robbing God. Paul says, determine in your heart what you can give joyously to God, and then give it. And he advocates proportional giving, so that we should be giving a percentage, so that when we get an increase or a decrease in our income, it's adjusted in our giving if we go by percentage. If we say, I'm going to give $100 every week, and something happens, then we can't give that $100, which is the main strain. But if something happens and we're giving a percentage, we continue to maintain that same percentage. Or on the converse side, if we triple our income and keep it at $100, because that's what makes me feel happy, we're robbing God. Because God's given us an increase, but we're not increasing to Him, right? So Paul advocates proportional giving, determine in your heart what you can give joyfully to the Lord, and then give that. And then when God encourages you to increase that percentage point, then increase it some more. But God is talking to the people through Malachi, saying, when you decided to do your own thing, you were starting to cut things out. You were starting to cheat me. You were starting to rob me, not only of your service, but that extended into the pocketbook too. You started robbing me from your tithes and offerings. He said, you got to stop that. If you're going to return to me, it means returning back to giving the appropriate service and giving the appropriate tithes and giving the appropriate offerings. God lays out the result of faithful giving. And he says this in verses 10 through 12. See, if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room enough for it. I will prevent pests from devouring your crops, and the vines in your fields will not cast their fruit, says the Lord Almighty. Then all the nations will call you blessed, for yours will be a delightful land, says the Lord Almighty. He says, if you return to me and you give me back the service that you owe me, if you return to me and give back to me the tithes and offerings that you owe me, because after all, what else does Paul tell us in the New Testament? That everything belongs to God and we're just stewards of it. We're supposed to give him back a little bit about what he gave us. So it's all his anyhow, right? He says, so if you give back to me what you're supposed to, I'm going to make you a promise. I'm going to throw open the floodgates of heaven. I'm going to bless you so much you can't take it in. He said, not only are you going to be a prosperous people, your land is going to be prosperous, and it's going to be a testimony to the world around you that I am a loving, gracious, and giving God. But if you're stingy, guess what? It's on you. You're not going to prosper the way I want you to prosper. Because I'm not going to reward disobedience. God will prevent the pests from devouring your crops, he said. There are some that believe that faithfulness in our tithing is representative of our overall faithfulness to God. And thus, this faithfulness will prevent the pests of our soul from being able to worm their way into our life. And if you don't let the whispers of Wormwood the demon tell you, you don't need to give to God this week. You can go spend it on something else that you want to do. He's hooked you. And you start to worm his way in. So you say, no, this is what I decided before God that I could do joyfully. And I'm going to take joy in what I'm given. Whether it's 0.5%, 1%, 10%, 50%, or like Laterno, it's 90%. You know? And that faithfulness then prevents wormwood from worming into your life. So it has more than just an economic side. It has a definite spiritual side. God tells the people that their faithfulness in giving will be a testimony to the world. And they'll see how loving and gracious and kind God is. To return to God, we must not only offer back to him our service, our offerings and tithes, but also have to give back to him honor and respect that's due him. Because in verse 13 through 17, he speaks out on this. He says, You have said harsh things against me, says the Lord. Yet you ask, what have we said against you? You have said it is futile to serve God. What did we gain by carrying out his requirements and going about like mourners before the Lord Almighty? But now we call the arrogant blessed. Certainly the evildoers prosper, and even those who challenge God escape. He said, you're not honoring me, you're not respecting me, you're dissing me at every chance. So what did we get at following God? All we got was hardships. He told us to do this and to do this and to do this, and we were doing our best to do it. And what does he do? He sends us away into captivity. What's serving God doing to us? In captivity, we said, oh, we can't wait to get back to our land. Oh, we just got to be contrite before God, so he sends us back. Well, look what we got to deal with. We're not victorious. We're not prosperous. Yeah, we built the walls. Yeah, we built the temple. We busted our butts. What do we get out of it? We still got to eke out a living in the fields. You know, look at those guys over there. They don't follow God. They do their own thing. They rob people right and left. Yet they always have money. They always have position. What about us? God doesn't take care of us. So who says it's worth following him? The people were saying things that dishonored God. They were disrespecting him. And he said, you know, if you return to me, you return in service, you return in your tithes and offerings, but you return in giving me the honor and respect that's due my name. Don't badmouth me. Don't lie about me. Don't twist my words. Don't go saying evildoers, the ones that prosper, but my people don't. Because I got history on my side. Each of us can improve in our consistency in giving our tithes and offerings and in our service to him. We all can improve. You know, that's between you and God. I don't care what the checkbook says. I don't even know what the checkbook says. All I know is this much came in and this much went out. I've never asked any of you how much to give. What if you determined to give your heart? I know some churches where they do. The elders sit people down and talk to them about their tithing habits. Because the treasurer is giving them reports. What's that? You know, that doesn't do anything. So we all can improve. We can all improve in that, and we can all improve in how we represent Christ in front of other people. And that's what God says, that's all you have to do to return to me. To say, where you know you're in deficit, turn to me, and I'll bless you. Where you know you're not doing the service that you should do that I've called you to, well, just turn to me. I'll work it out with you. If maybe you're not giving what cheerfully in your heart, you're giving under compulsion, you know, we got to adjust that. Because I want cheerful givers. I don't want you going around all sad in the mouth that I had to give $10 when I only really wanted to give $5. Then only give $5. You know, give what God purposes in your heart that you can give joyfully. Make sure that you're doing those things. Then make sure that you're giving him the honor and respect that's due his name. He says, if you return to me, I'll return to you. February 6th. This is what Oswald Chambers said, based on the verse 2 Timothy 4:6, which reads, I'm already being poured out as a drink offering. He says, I am now ready to be offered. It is a transaction of will, not of sentiment. Tell God you are ready to be offered, then let the consequences be what they may. There is no strand of complaint now, no matter what God chooses. God put you through the crisis in private. No one person can help another. Externally, the life may be the same. The difference is in the will. Go through the crisis in will, then when it comes externally, there will be no thought of the cost. If you do not transact in will with God along this line, you will end in awkward, awakening sympathy for yourself. He says, bind the sacrifice with cords even unto the horns of the altar. The altar means fire, burning, and purification, and insulation for one purpose only: the destruction of every affinity that God has not started and every attachment that is not an attachment in God. You do not destroy it, God does. You bind the sacrifice to the horns of the altar and see that you do not give way to self-pity when the fire begins. After this way of fire, there is nothing that oppresses or depresses. When the crisis arises, you realize that things cannot touch you as they used to do. What is your way of the fire? What is your way of fire? Tell God you are ready to be offered, and God will prove himself to be all you ever dreamed he would be. If you return to God, he will return to you. And he will pour out blessings so great that you can't contain them. Let's pray. Father, thank you for your love, and thank you for the promise of your word. Lord, help us to bind ourselves to the altar, to bind those things that get in our way of serving you and following you and obeying you. To bind them to the altar so that the flames can purify them from our lives, so that we can be used of you as witnesses for your glory. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's greet one another.